Expressing Depression, a depressing expression, by Zara.
Depression isn't just feeling sad. Depression is a desperate want for social interaction while also wanting to be left alone. Depression is not taking a shower for almost a week because why bother? Depression is when it takes more incentive and energy that it should just to get out of bed in the morning. Assuming, of course, that it is still morning. This also applies to brushing your teeth, especially if you don't have anywhere to be on that day. Imagine going for a week without showering, brushing your teeth, or indeed getting out of bed. My, aren't you the looker? You'll definitely want to get out of bed now. JK, no you won't. Depression is when you're overweight and you want to exercise regularly to lose weight, but you can't bring yourself to go down to the gym because you're just going to gain again anyway. Depression is knowing that you shouldn't eat too much because you'll get fat, but you're bored and lonely, so you eat like a pig. Not like there's anyone around to impress with your figure anyway. Depression is also the logic that your weight is the reason why you are alone. And while you can't control your jilted mind, you can control your weight. So you starve yourself in some desperate attempt to fix it. And if you don't have the willpower to starve yourself, don't worry, you can always binge and purge instead. Depression is telling your friends you're feeling fine, even though you're dying inside and you don't know why. Depression isn't just feeling down in the dumps. It's feeling so down in the dumps that it actually hurts to smile, but you smile anyway because the pain feels better than other people feeling sorry for you. You try to get people to feel sorry for you in some sad and desperate attempts to not feel alone anymore. But then you point this out to yourself and you feel like a hypocrite. And you start hating yourself. Because you weren't hating yourself enough before. Depression is taking genuine offense over a family member supporting a politician who represents everything you stand against. Maybe because you're gay or transgender and the politician is an LGBT phobe. Or maybe because you're dating a Middle Easterner or a Latin American and the politician is an ethno-nationalist. So you start distancing yourself from this relative. But you don't tell anyone that's why you're doing it, because you would seriously disassociate yourself from your own family member just because they voted for Eugene McBigots? Wow, talk about taking politics too seriously. So you keep your feelings bottled up. Depression isn't just feeling disappointed because you couldn't get a date for Valentine's Day. It's feeling disappointed because the only date you could get for Valentine's Day was your mother. Depression is wanting to hang out with your friends really, really badly, but you can't bring yourself to go to their houses. Depression is being offered by your family to hang out with them, but you say no. Because while you love your family to death, hanging out with them is not the same thing as hanging out with friends. But you don't tell them that because you feel like you're abandoning them in favor of people you'd rather be hanging out with. So you keep your feelings bottled up. Depression isn't even depression. Its official diagnostic term is major depressive disorder. Yes, it is a mental disorder. A mental illness. You are literally mentally ill. Depression is recognizing when someone just doesn't get that because you have depression, you just don't have a get up and go attitude, and you can't psych yourself into getting one. Though God knows you've tried. Equally moronic suggestions include try going outside every day, eat more chocolate, watch a happy movie, and my personal favorite, try smiling more. Yeah, that's a great idea, Mary Poppins. I honestly hadn't thought of that one yet. Depression is when you're texting someone who takes an awfully long time to answer you, leading you to think that they're talking to someone better than you. But you don't call them out on this because you don't want to sound needy. So you keep your feelings bottled up. Depression is when you try to make up for feeling lonely by logging into a messaging app like Telegram or Skype. But this just backfires because now, not only do you feel lonely and pathetic because now you can only socialize with people online. Depression is when you've grown so used to communicating with people through a messaging app that you become more socially awkward, even when you meet some of these people in person. This can lead to awkward dates and the people you're on a date with wondering if you're the same person they were talking to online. And even if they tell you it's not an awkward date at all, you know it is. Depression is equating any form of physical contact with affection, leading to one of two things. You either become a slut who's trying to fill a void that can never be filled, or you become someone swallowed up by self-pity, wondering why no one will have sex with you. But in either case, your need for social interaction worsens, and you become needy, making it more and more likely you'll become the latter of these two people. Depression is thinking nobody likes you, even though you know full well that you have family and friends who love you. Depression is when you want to vent to some of your friends because all your negative emotions are building up and you feel like you're going to collapse under the weight. But you still remember that one friend who couldn't take it anymore and completely cut you off at a moment's notice. Completely severing ties with you in any way they can. Blocking you on Facebook, blocking you on Twitter, blocking you on every single messaging app you've been using to talk to them. So to make sure that doesn't happen again, you don't say anything to anyone, and you keep your feelings bottled up. Depression is when you dare venture out of your comfort zone by letting your friends and family know what's going on by sharing vague depression memes and videos like this in some attempt to get them to know what you're going through. Spoilers, some might get it, but most probably won't. Depression isn't just feeling sad. It's feeling broken in ways that make you think you'll never be fixed.